Hi, friends. Are you or someone you love concerned about having issues with your memory? If so, I want you to listen to this week's episode because I'm going to go over 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's disease, and there's a free download that goes with it so that you can have a little checklist in case you're worried as well. Welcome back to This is Getting Old, Moving Towards an Age-Friendly World. I'm Dr. Melissa Batchelor, and I am a nurse practitioner, and I wear a lot of different hats in my work, including hosting this weekly podcast to bring you news and information on aging, caring for someone living with Alzheimer's disease, and a wide range of topics that I hope will help move us towards becoming an age-friendly world. Because when things are age-friendly, they're friendly for everyone. So if you like the podcast, the best way to help me grow and support the podcast is to like it, share it, and leave a review in whatever platform you've tuned in on today. Because no matter how old you are today, we are all aging, and these issues are going to become increasingly important. If you're a millennial, there are things that need to be in place when you reach the age of 65. So we have about 20 to 25 years to get these things in place to help you age with the support and choices that will help you, just like the people that are 65 today. Your likes, shares, and reviews help get the information out to help more people dealing with these issues. But right now, let's get going on this week's episode. I'm Dr. Melissa Batchelor. I'm a nurse practitioner, and this is about my fourth year of doing this podcast. And I love superheroes. I really love Wonder Woman. Didn't realize that until I started looking around my house. But I have the Pez dispenser. I have the lunchbox here. And then this is my favorite birthday card, and it's from my brother last year. And it's a little redheaded girl in her own superhero costume. But sometimes when people are talking to me about someone they love or maybe even themselves, my little spidey senses come out. And it's because I'm thinking about the story that they're telling me. And sometimes I hear warning signs. So if you like this episode, be sure that you subscribe to it on whatever platform you're listening from. Like it, share the content, leave a comment, and be sure to sign up for my newsletter on my website, melissabphd.com. And I've started a new private community on Facebook as well. And it's the name of the podcast. This is Getting Old, Moving Towards an Age-Friendly World. And in the group, we can just do deeper dives into different topics. You can share your ideas and questions about future episodes you'd like to see and connect with other podcast listeners. I'll also be doing live events there, and I don't want you to miss out on anything. But for now, we'll get to the warning signs. So the first one is memory loss that disrupts daily life. And so if someone's telling me a story about maybe they were going over to see their mother or their grandmother or a friend, and they just totally forgot that they were supposed to meet you, and this is happening a lot, or you notice that they're using more memory aids than before, some of those types of things can be a warning sign. Compared to normal aging is when you just sometimes forget a name or you sometimes forget an appointment. That can be just normal aging. So someone who's talking to me and telling me a story about, I get together with my mom once a week. We've done that for 5 years, and the past 2 times she's forgotten that. So that would kind of make my spidey senses go up that maybe we are having some memory loss that's disrupting her daily life. The second warning sign is challenges in planning or solving problems. And you may have seen some of the newer commercials about having trouble with numbers is a sign. It's also kind of completing forms. That's another sign. Maybe following a familiar recipe or keeping track of monthly bills. Sometimes those can be warning signs, particularly if you're seeing them in a pattern and they're happening a lot. Compared to normal aging is when you just make an occasional error and you catch it in balancing your checkbook. The third sign is difficulty completing familiar tasks at home, work, or in your daily life. And a warning sign for this would be someone who is having trouble making a shopping list, or they make the shopping list and they forget it, or they're having trouble driving to a familiar place, or they are getting lost. Those can be warning signs. Another warning sign that I recently heard was someone telling me about the fact that they had a loved one who'd received a gift card for Christmas, and they went to the store, and there had been a lot of conversation about using this gift card when the person went in to buy their book. And when they got back in the car, the question was, well, how much was it? And did you use the gift card? And the person had forgotten that they even had the gift card. And to me, that made my little spidey senses go up again, because that is having trouble not only with your memory, but completing a familiar task of shopping and remembering what you went into a place to do. Compared to normal aging is when you just occasionally need help remembering to do things, maybe setting a timer on a microwave or recording a television show. Like you just kind of forget how to use the technology, or you leave your shopping list. As long as that's not happening very often, you're fine. But if it's happening a lot, that's when we need to be concerned. Number 4 is confusion with time or place. So this is when someone is forgetting kind of either where you are or how you got there. They're forgetting what day it is, and they're doing this a lot as well. That's also a warning sign, compared to someone who just forgets what day of the week it is, but then they can figure it out later. The 5th warning sign is trouble understanding visual images or spatial relationships. And those two, visual images and spatial relationships, those are really big terms. But again, this can show up with trouble judging distance. So if you have a loved one and you go enter the garage and you see their car and like the front bumper is all scuffed up, that might be an indication they're having trouble judging distances, or even just pouring like a cup of coffee. Maybe they miss the mug and they're spilling things. Sometimes those can be warning signs as well. This is also when someone you're trying to explain how to get somewhere, or they leave the house to go somewhere and they come back and they're like, I just couldn't find the place. That could be a warning sign. And again, you're looking for patterns and repetition or worsening of someone with these things. Compared to normal aging, could be, just a change in vision. So making sure that they're getting their eye exams annually, or having an occasional fender bender. The 6th one is new problems with words in either with speaking or in writing. So a warning sign for this could be someone who's having trouble following your conversation. Like you're in the middle of talking to them and they're like, they just look confused and they can't tell you what you were talking about when you ask them. That can be a warning sign. Maybe this person has written letters to you before, or they've sent you emails on a regular basis, and you're noticing a difference in the way those emails are structured, or some of the words, but the way they're writing doesn't make sense. Those can be warning signs. Compared to normal aging is when you just have occasional trouble finding the right word. Number 7 is misplacing things or losing the ability to retrace your steps. So a warning sign for this would be when people aren't putting their things in the usual places, and they may be hiding them, and then they're going to accuse other people of stealing them. Or you walk into a room and you've forgotten what you're in there for, and you can't remember what that is. And the difference in that would be you've walked into the room, you forgot why you're there, and then you just go on to the next task. Compared to normal aging, this happens to me. And a lot of people I know, as you walk into the room, you forget what you're doing there, you turn around, you go back out, and then you're like, oh, I was in there, to do this thing. So normal aging is when you misplace things from time to time, or you're able to retrace your steps to find things. That's normal aging. But if you or a loved one, if you're constantly misplacing things, and you're losing that ability to retrace your steps, those are things, and it's happening a lot, that might be a warning sign. Number 8, decreased or poor judgment. This can show up in a lot of different ways. It could show up in the fact that maybe this is someone who was very well dressed before, and now they're paying less attention to how they look, or they are giving away a lot of money when they don't have a lot of money to give away, or that's a different behavior for them. So for a lot of these things, what you're doing is you're wanting to pay attention to who this person was before, who you've always known this person to be, and now you're noticing this change that kind of in your gut just doesn't seem right. Compared to normal aging is when you just occasionally make a bad decision or make a bad judgment. Number 9 is withdrawing from work or social activities. So with this is when someone might tell me a story where they say, my mom and dad, like last year, they were always going out, they were doing activities, and now, they had a lot of friends, and now they're not doing those things. And that could be because maybe one of your parents is having an issue, and so the other one is compensating for that. But those can be warning signs, or someone who just decides that they're not going to work, or they're getting increasingly frustrated trying to go to work and doing activities. And when you compare that to normal aging, that's when you just sometimes feel kind of tired of work and hanging out with your friends and going and doing social obligations. But for the most part, you are still doing all the same things that you have always done. And then number 10 is changes in your mood or personality. So again, this goes back to who has this person always been? And now what you're noticing is that they seem to be more confused. They seem more suspicious. Maybe they seem a little more sad or depressed. Maybe they seem like they're afraid to do things, or they seem really, really anxious. You're also going to see maybe a lot of frustration or a lot of anger. And it's really, a lot of these things happen when they're out of their comfort zone. So again, this is someone who before, really, was able to roll with the punches. And now all of a sudden you ask them to do something different than kind of their normal routine, and they get really upset and frustrated with you. That could be a warning sign. And again, this is something that's happening over and over. It's not just like a one-time thing, because with normal aging, we all develop very specific ways that we like to do things, and we can get irritated when our routine's disrupted. But for the most part, we can recover pretty quickly, and it's not going to stop our usual activity level just because of an occasional disruption in our daily life. So those are the 10 warning signs. And to get your free download, you can go to melissabphd.com/10 warning signs. And that's the number 10 warning signs. You can also just click the link below in the description. Don't forget to join my new community on Facebook. It's called This Is Getting Old, Moving Towards an Age-Friendly World. And we also have the link below for you. And you can subscribe to the podcast on this platform, the platform that you tuned into from today. Please like the episode, leave a comment, and you can also share this episode and download with anyone you think that it might help. If you'd like to learn more about how Alzheimer's disease is diagnosed, I did just try this. You can just Google how is Alzheimer's diagnosed on Google. And when it comes up at the top, you can click video, and that video will come up. You can also, on my YouTube platform, I've organized all of my Alzheimer's content in a playlist for Alzheimer's disease, so you can find more episodes there. And once you join the Facebook group and you're on my email list, I'll be able to give you more information, because I'm actually creating a membership library where I'm going to curate all the content that I've created over the past 4 years to give you a little bit more of a step-by-step guidance of all the episodes, so that, because right now when you look on YouTube, it's a really long list of things. And I'm also going to be developing a course in 2024, which is kind of the basics of Alzheimer's care and dementia care. And so if you're on my email list or you're in the Facebook group, I'll be able to stay in touch with you, and you'll be one of the first to know about it. So thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. You can check out other episodes on this platform or visit my website at melissabphd.com. Thanks to listeners like you, in the first 18 months of This Is Getting Old, we have reached a ranking of top 10% globally, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate your support in making that happen. I'm also really excited to let you know that you can now work with me directly, either one-on-one, or you can join one of the groups that I coach. Particularly if you're an adult child dealing with an aging parent, or a caregiver trying to manage the complexities of someone living with Alzheimer's disease. In the show notes, you can also find information about how to reach out and contact me directly, and I hope to work with each of you very soon as we discover and share more ways to make the world more age-friendly for everyone. My website also has information about how to contact me for speaking engagements, or if you have someone you'd like to recommend as a show guest for This Is Getting Old. If you have a product or service in the aging space that you would like to advertise and or sponsor an episode, there's more information about that on my website. And you can also find books and courses that I've developed and learn more about the products and services that I recommend. So don't forget, if you like the podcast, the best way to help me grow and support it is to like it, share it, and leave a review in whatever platform that you've tuned in on today. Your likes, shares, and reviews help increase my rating and my rankings, and also help other people find the podcast. I look forward to reading your reviews and hearing from you.